And welcome back to the channel. Yes, finally there is another racing game for me to actually take a look at. It feels like it's quite a long time between games at the moment, and I guess it is, but I have been looking forward to this one for quite a while now. It's Automobilista 2. Let me get something out of the way straight away here, which is that I never played Automobilista, the original game. For whatever reason, I've just not been into PC gaming up until quite recently, so I never really had the option to do so. And because it never came out on a console, I definitely wasn't going to even get a chance to have a go with it. But anyone that has been following the channel will know that I really enjoyed Project Cars 2. And when I heard about this game, it was actually quite interesting to me because they were using Slightly Mad Studios' game engine, the Madness engine, to put this one together. So bearing in mind, lots of people loved Automobilista, and the visuals on Project Cars 2 are absolutely superb. You put those two together and this definitely sounded really promising. For today's video, I'm not going to be reviewing the game. I have not put enough hours in to really give you an honest opinion of everything within the game. However, I would like to share with you my early impressions, exactly how I'm finding it, what I like, what I don't like, and that sort of thing. While I'm going over these points, I have just set up a single event now. It's from the Evolution class, so it is just a Mitsubishi Evo RS that I'm going to be racing. It's at Brands Hatch at the GP circuit. But to make it interesting, I have been playing around with the weather, and we're starting off with rain, and then it's going to work its way through to a nice sunny dry day. Now what I've done is I've set my car up to actually use wet weather tyres, so it is important that I get out to the front as fast as I possibly can. That is, if I can get to the front, because as soon as the weather starts to dry up, I'm assuming most of the AI is going to be running a slick tyre. So as soon as it starts to dry up, they're going to become a lot quicker, and they're going to be chasing me down. So that'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. As with all these videos, the assists are set to authentic, so it should be as close to driving the real car as is possible. And also, being the RS model, this is just rear wheel drive, so I'm going to have to be very careful on the throttle coming out of some of these corners, particularly in the wet. I'm going to be playing on the G29 today with the manual shifter. I haven't got a wheel cam, unfortunately, today. I've had a load of issues with my camera, but hopefully that's getting sorted out. So next video, with a bit of luck, fingers crossed, I should have the wheel cam back again. Right, so anyway, we're away. I have got it set up with a rolling start at the beginning here, so it's just going to take us up to that start-finish line before it will finally release me, and we'll be off. As I say, I am going to have to be super aggressive here. There's probably a high likelihood that I am going to smash into these cars, so just forgive me that while I'm just trying to get out to the front. But starting in 15th here is not going to be an easy task at all as I come into the first corner here. So, I mean, with this game, if you haven't heard, it has been changed to an early access. Hold on, a little tap there. Just got to squeeze my way through these guys if I can, and at the other end, there we go, perfect. So yeah, it has been put into early access. There we go, smash into that one instead, which is probably a really good idea, to be honest. Having played what I've played so far, there's definitely areas that aren't quite finished yet. The reason they've opted to do this is because of the coronavirus. Obviously, it's affecting so many people at the moment, and I can imagine with the pressure they had to obviously finish this ready for that release date, the chances are it probably got pushed back a little bit down to that, you know, the coronavirus itself. So they have released it in early access. There is parts of the game that feel a little bit unfinished. Certainly, like here, I've got the windscreen wipers on, so there's no rain forming across the centre of the window there, but there's actually no wipers going. So it's bits like that, and also some of the menus as well. And as you saw earlier, when you click on sort of a show reel of the car, it can look really bad, to be honest. So hopefully they are going to actually increase everything that they've done for those bits for the final release as well. But the reality is, in terms of how close it is to being the final release, they're saying that it's around about 80%. I can well believe it. The game itself feels solid, certainly from a driving point of view. It's really impressive. It is just the little bits and pieces that you can feel aren't quite there yet. And interestingly enough, look, they're all going into the pits here, which I wasn't actually expecting, so it's going to give me a good shot here. So we're just coming up to the end of the first lap. I'm now out in 4th position, mostly down to the fact that most of those have pitted in. So that is going to give me a good chance, but it's just how far I can push this now, because the track is, like I said, going to start drying out now. And the guys that are still out on track now are definitely going to be a lot quicker than me. So this is going to be interesting to see how I get on here and see if I can get onto this podium. So I'm just going to keep pushing for this 3rd place now. But yeah, like I was saying, the early access. So I think it was a great idea anyway. It's also meant that we have got the game a lot cheaper. So it cost me £25 here in the UK, which is a lot less than you would expect a game of this sort of quality to cost you. So I'll definitely take that. There is quite an aggressive amount of DLC that's going to be coming out in the future, and the price on that is actually quite dear by the looks of things. So we'll have to wait and see what the final prices are on those. But bearing in mind that the guys that had the sort of, if you did the sort of the backing for when they were first starting to make this game, it was costing sort of around about 120 quid, I think, 140 quid, something like that, and that'll then get you the DLC as well. So assuming that the game's just come out at £25 now, I would guess that this next lot of DLC is going to be quite expensive, so those people don't get annoyed. I am slowly closing on this guy. I feel like I need to do a little bit more than this though if I want to hold the people off from behind me. I know I've got a bit of a gap at the minute, but I have a funny feeling they're going to start catching me up, like I say, with this tyre choice. But I'll keep going anyway. End of lap 2, I'm in the same position I was last lap as well, so still in 4th place, but I am definitely closing on this guy. In terms of what you're getting with this game though, car selection wise, I mean for me it's really interesting because I've never played the original game. From what I understand, the vast majority of the cars that are in this game were in the original game anyway, so there's nothing particularly new there. However, obviously visual wise this looks like night and day compared to the previous game. It really does look very nice indeed. But for me personally, and for any of you guys that have never played the original game, the car selection's great, and there's a lot of stuff in there that you don't tend to get in other racing games, so it all feels really fresh to me. And you team that up with the amount of sorry, just concentrating around the corner. If you team that up with the number of courses, which are pretty much on comparison to Project Cars 2, and you've got a really nice mix. I mean, whether it's going to last forever in terms of content, I don't know. You might get a little bit fed up with the cars because there's no really obvious choices there, but at the same time, with the DLC coming out in the future, hopefully there's going to be enough there as well with what comes out that we're going to be entertained for a long time with this game. I just can't catch this guy as much as I try. Yeah, I think I'm going to be stuck in 4th position here. I don't even know where 1st, 2nd and 3rd are. I haven't seen them for a long time. You look at the map on the top right there, and I just haven't seen them on there for a long time. But I'll just keep going anyway. I'm going to have to push really hard, I think, to get past this guy. I feel like I am getting to him, but every time I get close, he then seems to disappear again. So it's obviously my poor driving. But coming up to the end of lap 3 here, and I'm still in 4th position. Can I get into that podium? I'll keep going and see how far I can get. So anyway, back to what I was saying, and the quantity of of stuff within this game is definitely there in my opinion. But in terms of handling, how does it feel? Is it what I was expecting? It's a really difficult one, and handling is it's one of those things within sim racing that I think is probably the hardest thing to touch on. Everybody has their own. Oh, I'm running really wide there. I need to catch this guy, but I also need to be a little bit careful. But it's one of those things that, for me personally, I haven't driven most of these cars that I'm driving within these games ever in real life, so I really have very little idea of how they feel to drive. However, you have a preconception in your head of how all of these different cars should be driving, and that's kind of what you expect from games. Now with sim racing, it's incredibly easy to just say the game that you play all the time is the one that feels correct and that everything else feels wrong, and that's because you've put so many hours in. I'm going wide again. It's because you put so many hours into those games that they just feel normal to you and everything else doesn't feel quite the same. Now for me, I'm not like that. I definitely don't take it that seriously, and I certainly don't spend all my time on one game. I really like playing all sorts of different things, and I'm going wide again, and yeah, I'm getting close to this guy. I don't think I'm going to get him on this last corner though. But yeah, for me, I just think it feels really nice. If anything, it feels a little bit better than Project Cars 2, which is a great thing. And I'm really pleased with it, and I can't wait to spend a little bit more time with it. And so here we go anyway, coming up to the finish line there, and we get 4th place. Not the most exciting of races. I seemed to get to 4th place in the first lap and then just stayed there for the entire race. But I'm quite glad that I actually managed to hold off the people behind me. I never claimed to be particularly good at these games, but I really do enjoy them. And I'm really happy that this game has come out and it's lived up to my expectations. It's definitely another one that I'm really looking forward to, as I say, spending a little bit more time with. And I'd love to bring you guys more content as and when I do. Make sure you use that comment section and let me know exactly what you think of this game. Have you picked it up? Are you playing it? Or is it one that you're definitely going to avoid? Also, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you get notified when new videos go up. And also, don't forget to give the video a like. Once again, sorry for there being no wheel cam footage today. The next time I revisit Automobilista, I will be sure to have a camera filming my hands on the wheel so you guys don't get to miss that. Also, make sure you look after yourselves out there. This coronavirus, certainly in the UK, seems to be getting worse at the minute. So it is really important that you do take care. So please do, and I really hope you're all staying safe out there. Thanks very much for coming by the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.